Ago, see how it began. A nation built on noble intentions, forged by strong wills tempered over time, tested in periods of great conflict. Now look again. See what Gilneas has become. Isolated, withdrawn, besieged, recovering ever so slowly from a devastating civil war known as the Northgate Rebellion. Its citizens praying for a return to happier times, praying in vain. I know now that when the attack came, amid the screaming and the bleeding and the dying, some wondered with their final thoughts. If perhaps this new enemy held ties to the marauding undead, clamoring outside the Greymane Wall, a wall built to protect, built to prevent the rest of the world's troubles from becoming our own. Interesting thing about walls, while they quite often excel at shutting things out, they're equally as effective at trapping things within. Before the attack, this enemy had existed only in the timid whispers of the old, or the fanciful embellishments of the young. Not a single victim truly knew where the nightmarish beast came from, or how they came to be. Among the doomed, desperate citizens of Gilneas, no one knew. Until now. Gilneas City Station House, 4 days before the attack.
Perhaps my next feature should read, Halford Ramsey, famed special investigator, humiliated by his failure to capture the Starlight Slasher, harasses local media in a desperate attempt to gather information.
And I might enter into my report that Maxwell Wiggins, periodical sensationalist and suspected rebel sympathizer, refused cooperation, thereby warranting further investigation. All endeavors and transactions to be held under the closest scrutiny until guilt or innocence be determined. Sound about right, Cox?
Rebel sympathizer? I've never printed an unkind word about His Majesty.
You printed that the victims were all King Greymane supporters.
An observation.
One not supported by facts released to the populace.
I have my sources.
Indeed, members of this so-called wolf cult, perhaps.
Don't be ridiculous. There is no such thing.
I believe there is, and I believe the secret society is connected to our murders.
Speculation.
Presently, yes, but there is one matter that has steadily emerged to me as irrefutable fact. You, my portly friend, have lied throughout this interview.
Sirs, it's happened again! Another victim!
Step back, you lummox, before you compromise what evidence may exist.
I got eyes of me own, you know. I can see she was taken unawares. Most likely on her way home. She cut through this unlit close where the killer was no doubt hiding. Attacked with a knife, stabbed multiple times.
Your ability to state the obvious is stupefying.
What in mercy's name are you doing, man? She's not an horse for sale.
Nor do I wish to purchase her. And were I to purchase a dead horse for some unknowable reason, what would be the point in checking its teeth? Honestly, Cox, you confound me. I do not expect you to grasp the complexities of my process, but I do expect you not to interfere. I'll ask you again to step back.
Mama! Mama!
Easy now, boy, easy!
Very good then, and what's your name?
Let me go! I want my mom!
Calm down, son. Hysterics aren't going to bring your mother back.
For pity's sake!
Son, I require you to focus. Your mother had a wedding party to attend, yes?
I want to see her! I want...
Well, this won't do at all.
I'll see he has a place to stay.
What kind of animal are you anyway? Not an ounce of compassion in you, is there?
Animal? I am a logician, sir. It is intellect precisely that separates us from animals. Furthermore, it is cold forensic analysis that forms the basis of any successful investigation. But an understanding of success is something that eludes you, is it not?
Forensic analysis? Did this same cold forensic analysis apply to Anna? I suppose with her, the facts of the case were obvious though, yeah.
You impudent bastard.
I've been waiting a long time for that.
Ugh!
You like punching people's buttons, Ramsey? It's high time you learned that there's consequences. It's high time you got your own buttons punched.
I make no apologies for who I am, Cox. And as far as my sister is concerned, you are never to speak of her again. Now, if you don't mind, I still have a case to solve.
And I suppose you got it all figured out, have ya, Mr. Famous Detective?
Pay attention to these words, Cox, for you will rarely, if ever, hear them again. You are correct. The woman was not a smoker. Her teeth are unstained. She carried the chain and pendant in her pocket. The chain is unbroken. Therefore, I have reached the only logical conclusion. All items were intended as gifts, wedding gifts most likely, and purchased this very evening. The cigars for the groom and the pendant for the bride. The pendant's an antique, 300 years old by my estimation. The nearest smoke shop is 2 blocks away. The nearest antique dealer a block and a half. This is exactly the connection I've been pressing for. Tell me now, do you remember what we found at the last victim's house? What it was filled with? Some recently purchased...
Antiques!
Here. That way, quickly!
Easy now, boy!
Forget about the damn dog! To the horses! Quickly! Quickly! Whoa, boy! Damn! The pain in my shoulder informed me that I was alive. In a manor house, abandoned after the war, it was then that I caught the scent.
Welcome.
Who are you? And why am I here?
I am your host. You are my guest.
I felt peculiar. My thoughts, normally so focused, were disjointed, scattered as if a tempest raged within my head. My shoulder was a furnace. I was set upon by one of those wolf beasts. How is it that I yet live?
It was not the intent of the Pure One to kill you.
The Pure One. They're called Worgen, yes? And no doubt this wolf cult worships the beasts. I've considered for some time now that the cult was involved in the Starlight Slasher murders, and tonight I've uncovered evidence to prove my suspicions.
The murders were the act of a rebel sympathizer, a man who was detained by my brethren in the process of being held accountable for his transgressions when you and the constable interfered. My society, what some choose to call the wolf cult, rallies behind King Greymane. The Worgen are not your enemy. I dare say your energies would be better directed against your true foe, the relentless Forsaken who assault your great wall day after day.
Your wall. If you support the king as you say, then surely you trust in his ability to defend the kingdom. And if the Worgen are not the enemy, then why was I attacked? Why am I being detained?
I say again, you are my guest. You may take your leave when it pleases you, and what you declare an attack. I proclaim a gift. You see, Mr. Ramsey, your reputation speaks for itself. We believe once you see the truth, you will be a great asset.
I felt the world slipping away, caught in the tempest, and I was being swept along with it. What affliction vexes me? I demand to know.
And you shall know, Halford Ramsey. All will be revealed unto you, the truth of the Worgen, what they are, and where their journeys have taken them. Truth, I say, not myth or superstition. Only in the wake of these revelations will I ask you to form your own judgments. Now, listen closely. My tale begins in the land of the Night Elves. In ages past, the era following the great sundering of the world, during that was known as the War of the Satire, the Night Elves of Kalimdor faced once again the cruel reality of conflict, bloodshed, death, and deep, terrible loss. Armies of satyrs burned with unquenchable vengeance for their fallen father, Satire Lord Xavius.
Forward, soldiers of the Emerald Flame!
Sentinels! Sisters of Elune! Strike fiercely! Do not fail!
As well, they drew upon mighty allies, other demons of the Burning Legion, who had yet lingered years after the War of the Ancients, polluting Azeroth. Ashenville was ablaze with their destructive fell magic as they struck with but one goal: the utter destruction of Kaldorai's civilization.
Brother Druids, show no quarter, for none will be shown to you!
Spare no one! This night we feast upon their flayed flesh!
Come, traitors! Come and receive your penance!
Must you always follow me? This one is mine!
I saw him first! On second thought, he's all yours.
No. No. I do believe you saw him first, Darvel.
Puny druids, weaklings, the days of the Kaldor have passed.
I will give you the moments you need.
And I will save our hides. Once again.
Your druidic trickery holds no power over me.
I must be honest with you, Allah. You are a most fortunate druid to have me by your side.
Arvel!
My love! Camerla!
And here we are again. One day you'll run us headfirst into our doom following that female around.
Just promise me, old friend, that you will be at my side.
Only so I can say I told you so.
We must retreat!
My love, are you unharmed?
I am well, but our brothers and sisters are not. We must retreat. This was a trap. Look. More Felguard come from the high grounds.
I will not retreat. What is this cowardice?
Oh, just look, you arrogant fool. We are ambushed.
The Legion burns eternal!
Back, beasts!
For Xavius!
We must go back! Druids! Retreat!
We cannot just give in. Not anymore.
Cumberlaw, now is not the time to question us, Shanto. We can do no more here.
You know we can, brother. You know what we can do.
We will discuss this later.
We are lost, my lady.
Retreat at Rainwood! Fall back, all of you!
Rainwood retreat.
The War of the Satire had taken its toll on the Kaldorei, still struggling to reshape their ancient culture after the Sundering. But it was, despite that, a time of innovation, when druids had a passion to experiment with new forms, learning what they were really capable of. Regardless, Malfurion Storm Rage had begun to restrict the druids' free form and establish boundaries, limiting the great potential of his flock. The wise amongst them spoke out.
Shondo, what could be more dangerous than the dire situation in which we find ourselves? Our losses today speak to this. We must try the form again.
R'hllor, you are one of those amongst us who bear the most druidic potential. I understand your fire. Yet, I must say again that the druid of the pack form is much too dangerous. Too volatile.
Master Malfurion, you know I would never disobey your guidance, but I do think Brother Alar speaks with reason here.
I have experienced the form's purity, its rage, and vicious, powerful essence. Is that not what we need now against these ferocious demons? Look around us. We're a motley lot. Bruised, beaten, many dead, many whom we love dearly. I implore you, Shondo, do not ask us to restrict ourselves from this form.
Hear, hear. You have had your say, R'hllor, as I always allow. Now, please sit. We have lost brother druids not only to this war, but also this form. Many never to be seen again. We have watched those who embrace it turn on each other. Can you not see, my Tharoshan, that we already war against one enemy, a powerful one? We cannot risk fighting ourselves as well.
We come to aid in the healing efforts, brothers, to soothe your aches.
My lady, we are grateful.
You are most kind, my lady.
It is you, Brother Druid, who owns the kindest of hearts.
Do not forget my pains as well, sister.
I'd rather kiss a quillbore.
Children, please a little civility for my sake.
Though he is undeserving. For you, my love. Anything.
I must continue our discussion, Shondo. I truly do believe if we honed this pack form, experimented more, we would control it. I urge you to reconsider.
It is indeed a powerful form, R'hllor, but that does not mean it is without its burden.
Pardon my trespass, High Priestess Tyrande, but how might a Sister of Elune know of a druidic form, such as this?
I may not be a druid, this is true, but I know of the pack form well, as its ferocity is tied directly to Elune's legacy.
I have never heard such a thing. How can that be?
It is because you often listen little, R'hllor. The pack form's strength comes from the wolf demigod Goldrin, as you know, but its essence is rooted in his rage against our moon goddess. You see, it was Goldrin's feral insistence that disappointed Elune, so it was his unwillingness to tame his savagery and bloodlust that overshadowed his noble heart. When her great light illuminated the dark during the full moons, it was as if her eyes glared down upon him in judgment. His anger at her conviction caused Goldrin to become even more bloodthirsty and indomitable than ever. It is this volatile nature of which Malfurion is most concerned. It is this essence that is rooted deep within the form.
Ralar, if Goldrin the Wolf Ancient himself could not control his feral spirit, then how might we who are not wolf in nature?
We trust in your wisdom, Shando. I know I speak for Ralar as well.
I might only hope that I have earned that trust. Rest now, all of you. Another battle looms just over the horizon.
We will prevail. They have tainted our moonwells. They have destroyed our land. But know, all of you, that the servants of the Burning Legion will fall once again.
We have controlled the pack form, brother. We can hone it. We can save lives.
I believe the last time I found you in pack form, I was barely able to stop you from ripping the head off of one of the priestesses. That is not control.
Only because I thought it was Belisra. I tell you, Arvel, I'm willing to do anything to end this bloodshed. You should be as well.
Let us not speak of this anymore here. Malfurion has always guided us true.
And perhaps it is trust, above all things, that is given too easily. It is trust in the old ways that stops so many from seeing the true purity of essence.
Such a detailed account could only be possible if you were there. And you were there, weren't you? The animal scent, the timbre of your voice. You're one of them. A Worgen.
As you say, I once was known as Ralar. I am now called Alpha Prime.
I've seen and heard enough. What's happening to me?
You are undergoing the change. The more you fight against the transformation, the more difficult it will be. Now, try to relax, for my tale has only just begun.
Grey Mane Manor, outside Gilneas City, 3 days before the attack.
Attacked before my very eyes by some kind of wild beast. No way anyone could have survived that.
And these men you were chasing?
Gone, my king. Disappeared into the woods.
Halford was not loved by everyone, but he was a damned good investigator. The best. Murders on our streets, rumors of Crowley supporters reforming, the Forsaken outside our wall, and now this. Godfrey, I want the woods searched. Alert the nearby towns of this wild animal.
Seems like a waste of time to search, but I'll make it happen.
See that you do. Mia, my dear, I'll be in the observatory. I wish to be alone. A Worgen. There's little doubt of it.
If so, then Halford is most likely dead. If he somehow survived, then perhaps he'll find his way home. His true home. In time.
This Alpha Prime you've spoken of, could this be his work?
I pray it is not. For all our sakes, I pray it is not so. But only time will tell.
Then let us hope time is on our side, Belisra.